Imagine for a moment, what if something as simple as how you touch her could either spark a connection or shut her down completely? Most men have no idea. Today, we're going to reveal subtle ways women secretly wish their partners would engage with one of the most sensitive parts of their body. Ways that aren't just about pleasure, but about connection, trust, and intimacy. Here's the truth. Women's breasts aren't just physical. They carry emotional resonance. Touch them with awareness, and you're communicating care, respect, and desire all at once. Touch them without thought, and you risk making her feel objectified. The difference is subtle, but it's everything. If you're learning this for the first time, pause and think. How often have you truly been present with her body, her reactions, and her emotional cues? Try it tonight and notice the difference in connection. Emotional safety is the foundation of any intimate interaction. And when it comes to a woman's breasts, it becomes even more significant. Women do not separate physical touch from emotional context. A touch that is rushed, inattentive, or purely mechanical can immediately trigger discomfort or shut down desire. Emotional safety begins with presence, being fully engaged in the moment, and demonstrating that your focus is on her experience rather than your own impulses. This presence is communicated through subtle cues, eye contact that conveys care rather than hunger, a calm tone when speaking, gentle movements that signal patience, and the willingness to pause if she shows hesitation. Consent is not just a verbal checkbox. It's reading her body language and ensuring she feels in control. A woman wants to know that her partner can recognize when she is receptive and when she is not, that he can respond to her subtle signals, and that there is no pressure or expectation. When emotional safety is established, touch transforms from a purely physical act into a shared experience of connection. The way a man approaches her chest with attentiveness, curiosity, and respect communicates a deeper understanding of intimacy. Even small gestures like checking in with her reactions or asking if she is comfortable create trust. Emotional safety also allows vulnerability. A woman may feel free to relax, to show pleasure openly, or to guide the experience according to her comfort. Without this foundation, any touch risks being perceived as objectifying, mechanical, or self-serving. Understanding and prioritizing emotional safety is therefore not just polite, it is essential. It sets the stage for a meaningful connection where physical pleasure is intertwined with emotional attunement, creating a profound sense of intimacy and mutual trust. Exploration that is slow and attentive is central to meaningful intimacy because it signals curiosity, respect, and responsiveness. When a man approaches a woman's breasts, it's not just the act of touch that matters, it's how he tunes into her body's subtle signals. Women are highly sensitive to micro-expressions, shifts in posture, slight changes in breathing, and the tension or relaxation of muscles. By noticing these cues, a partner demonstrates that he is not acting on impulse alone, but is genuinely engaged in her experience. Slow exploration allows for adjustments in pressure, angle, and rhythm, responding to what feels pleasurable rather than assuming one-size-fits-all techniques. Attention to these details also communicates patience and care, showing that her comfort and enjoyment are priorities. This approach contrasts sharply with rushed or inattentive touch, which can feel objectifying and reduce the emotional resonance of intimacy. Curiosity in this context is not simply physical. It is the willingness to observe, learn, and adapt to her unique responses. When a partner is attuned, she senses that her body is being truly seen, which deepens trust and encourages openness. Even small changes, a soft sigh, a subtle shift in hips, or a change in heartbeat, become guides for how the touch evolves, creating a dynamic interaction rather than a static action. This type of exploration also allows for playful experimentation, letting both partners discover what brings pleasure in a shared, responsive way. The impact of this attentiveness is profound. It transforms the experience from a purely physical act into an exchange of care, presence, and mutual enjoyment. By committing to slow, observant, and responsive touch, a man communicates that he values not only her body, but her feelings and boundaries, reinforcing intimacy and emotional connection at every moment. Playfulness plays a surprisingly powerful role in intimate moments because it creates an atmosphere of safety, relaxation, and connection. Women often respond positively to partners who approach intimacy with curiosity and a light-hearted attitude rather than rigidity or hyper-seriousness. When it comes to engaging with a woman's breasts, playfulness can take many forms: teasing touches that are gentle and exploratory, variations in pressure or rhythm, or playful whispers and laughter that break tension. This approach signals that the partner is comfortable with his own body and emotions, which encourages her to feel equally at ease. Playfulness also fosters mutual discovery, allowing both partners to explore what feels pleasurable without judgment or expectation. When a man approaches touch with a playful, attentive mindset, he invites her to participate actively, rather than being a passive recipient. It demonstrates confidence and emotional intelligence, showing that he can read her responses and adjust accordingly. Importantly, playfulness is intertwined with respect. It does not mean ignoring boundaries or pushing limits. Instead, it's about creating a shared space where experimentation is safe, enjoyable, and consensual. Even small gestures, a teasing feather-light stroke, a gentle nibble, or a whispered question can transform the dynamic, making touch feel intimate, engaging, and personal. Playfulness reduces the pressure to perform, turning the focus from a mechanical pursuit of pleasure to a shared experience of curiosity and connection. It communicates care and attentiveness in a way that pure technique cannot, highlighting emotional attunement and the joy of being present with each other. By integrating playfulness into intimate touch, a man demonstrates awareness, empathy, and respect, all of which deepen emotional intimacy while enhancing physical pleasure. Verbal and nonverbal validation is a subtle yet powerful way to deepen intimacy because it reinforces connection and communicates appreciation. Women often respond strongly to cues that show their partner is noticing, admiring, and valuing them beyond mere physical attraction. When it comes to breasts, validation can take the form of gentle words of affirmation, soft murmurs of appreciation, or even expressive eye contact that conveys admiration without needing speech. These signals reassure her that she is seen, desired, and respected, which enhances comfort and openness. Nonverbal validation, such as a warm smile, a lingering gaze, or attentive hand placement, reinforces the sense of connection without interrupting the flow of intimacy. This attentiveness communicates that her pleasure and presence matter, creating a feedback loop where she feels safe to express herself more fully. Verbal acknowledgement can be as simple as asking how she feels or subtly commenting on her reactions in a caring tone. These small affirmations demonstrate that the partner is present, emotionally attuned, and genuinely engaged in her experience, rather than just focused on his own sensations. Validation also reduces the risk of objectification. It emphasizes her individuality and the uniqueness of her body, turning touch into a shared dialogue rather than a one-sided act. By combining verbal and nonverbal cues, a partner can create a rich tapestry of reassurance, admiration, and attentiveness. Over time, these gestures cultivate trust, encourage vulnerability, and enhance emotional intimacy, making physical touch more meaningful and satisfying. Women are highly perceptive to authenticity in these interactions, so the key is to be sincere, consistent, and observant, ensuring that every touch and word reinforces respect, care, and genuine appreciation, which together elevate the shared experience. Integrating mind and body and intimate touch is essential because it transforms physical interaction into a holistic experience of connection and presence. Women often respond more deeply when a partner's touch is not isolated to the body alone, but is aligned with emotional awareness, eye contact, and synchronized breathing. This integration communicates attentiveness, care, and attunement, signaling that the touch is intentional and connected to shared experience rather than purely physical desire. When a man coordinates his actions with her cues, matching pressure, rhythm, and tempo to her responses, he creates a dialogue through touch that can be profoundly intimate. Eye contact amplifies this connection, allowing her to feel seen and emotionally acknowledged, reinforcing safety and trust. Breathing together or being mindful of subtle changes in her body enhances the sense of unity and presence, turning touch into a shared, almost meditative experience. Integrating verbal cues, such as softly checking in or acknowledging sensations, further strengthens the mind-body link, demonstrating that he values her comfort, reactions, and pleasure. This approach contrasts with mechanical or distracted touch, which can feel transactional and impersonal, breaking the sense of intimacy. By combining physical sensitivity with emotional attunement and mindfulness, men signal empathy and presence, making the experience more meaningful for both partners. Integration also allows for greater adaptability. Being aware of her subtle shifts in energy, tension, or responsiveness enables the partner to adjust dynamically, enhancing pleasure while maintaining respect. Ultimately, mind-body integration is about synchrony, attuning actions, awareness, and emotional engagement in a way that elevates intimacy. It creates a feedback loop where physical sensation is enhanced by emotional connection, and emotional connection is deepened by sensitive, attentive touch, fostering a rich mutual experience of closeness and trust. Understanding and prioritizing a woman's comfort and cues during intimate touch is essential because it frames the entire experience as collaborative rather than unilateral. Women are highly attuned to whether a partner is genuinely present and responsive to their reactions, and this awareness directly impacts how safe, relaxed, and open they feel. Every gesture, from a gentle caress to a subtle shift in hand placement, communicates attentiveness and respect when done mindfully. Attuning to her body means observing micro-reactions, changes in breathing, muscle tension, or slight movements, and adjusting touch accordingly. This responsiveness signals that her pleasure and comfort are valued above routine or habit, creating a sense of mutual engagement rather than mechanical action. It also demonstrates emotional intelligence, the ability to recognize, interpret, and respond to her nonverbal cues fosters trust and deepens intimacy. Women respond positively when a partner integrates their reactions into the interaction, showing curiosity about what feels good, asking questions in a gentle way, and making subtle adjustments based on feedback. This dynamic transforms touch from a one-sided experience into a dialogue that respects her boundaries while amplifying pleasure. Mindful engagement also communicates patience and care, reducing anxiety or self-consciousness, and encouraging her to relax into the moment. Over time, this approach strengthens connection by reinforcing that intimacy is a shared responsive experience. It moves beyond mere physicality, combining attentiveness, respect, and emotional presence to create a richer, more meaningful interaction. A partner who consistently demonstrates sensitivity to her cues fosters an environment where vulnerability, trust, and enjoyment coexist, enhancing both emotional and physical closeness. The way a man engages with a woman's breasts is never just about technique. It is a reflection of emotional intelligence, presence, and respect. Every touch carries meaning. It can communicate care, curiosity, and appreciation, or it can feel mechanical and objectifying. Women respond deeply when partners prioritize emotional safety, notice subtle cues, explore with patience, integrate playfulness, validate both verbally and nonverbally, and synchronize mind and body. Intimacy becomes transformative when it is attuned, responsive, and mindful, turning physical connection into a shared experience of trust, desire, and closeness. At its core, what women secretly want is not just skill or passion. It is a partner who is fully present, attentive, and respectful, someone who treats their body as a conduit for connection rather than a destination for gratification. When these elements come together, touch transcends the physical and becomes a language of care, curiosity, and mutual fulfillment. The secret, therefore, is simple yet profound. Intimacy is most powerful when it is rooted in respect, awareness, and genuine attunement to her experience. Intimacy, particularly the kind that involves sensitive parts of a woman's body, is far more nuanced than many people realize. What women secretly desire is not simply physical stimulation. It is the combination of emotional connection, trust, respect, and awareness that makes touch meaningful. Their breasts, while often thought of primarily in terms of sexual desire, are intimately tied to emotional experiences, vulnerability, and a sense of safety. Touch in this context is not just a physical act. It is a form of communication that conveys attention, care, curiosity, and emotional attunement. For many women, the experience of pleasure is inseparable from the emotional climate in which it occurs. If they feel rushed, objectified, or unseen, even the most technically skilled touch can feel hollow or uncomfortable. Conversely, when a partner is present, patient, and attentive, the same gestures can become profoundly connective and affirming. Emotional safety is the foundation upon which meaningful intimacy is built. Women need to feel that their boundaries are recognized, that their reactions are observed and valued, and that they are free to express comfort or discomfort without fear of judgment or coercion. Emotional safety begins with presence. Being truly attentive to her in the moment, focused on her experience rather than your own impulses. It manifests in subtle ways, maintaining eye contact that conveys care rather than hunger, moving with intention and patience, and pausing when uncertainty is detected. Consent in this context is not a single verbal agreement, but an ongoing dynamic understanding achieved by observing microsignals such as a shift in breathing, a change in posture, or slight facial expressions. A partner who can interpret and respond to these signals demonstrates both respect and emotional intelligence, which deepens trust and fosters vulnerability. When emotional safety is established, touch transforms into more than a physical act. It becomes a shared experience of connection and mutual presence. Attentive exploration is equally important. Women appreciate partners who are curious, observant, and willing to adjust based on their responses. This is not about technique alone, but about being responsive to micro-reactions, the softening or tension of muscles, subtle movements of the hands or hips, small changes in breathing, and even quiet vocalizations. These cues provide a map for how touch should evolve in a way that prioritizes her comfort and pleasure. Slow, mindful exploration allows for a playful and dynamic interaction, signaling patience and attentiveness. Rushed mechanical touch, on the other hand, can feel impersonal, even objectifying. Curiosity and observation communicate respect, showing that the partner values her responses, wants to understand her unique preferences, and is committed to a mutually enjoyable experience. This responsiveness also creates a feedback loop. The more she feels seen and understood, the more she relaxes, which in turn enhances sensitivity and openness, allowing intimacy to deepen naturally. Playfulness is another vital element in cultivating intimacy. Gentle teasing, laughter, and lighthearted exploration help reduce tension, encourage relaxation, and build trust. A partner who can approach intimate touch with a sense of curiosity and playful energy signals emotional comfort and confidence. Playfulness allows both partners to participate actively in the experience, fostering mutual enjoyment rather than one-sided focus. It reduces performance pressure and communicates that pleasure is a shared journey. Small gestures, a teasing caress, playful variation in rhythm, or a whispered question can create a sense of engagement and connection that technical skill alone cannot achieve. Playfulness, when combined with attentiveness and respect, turns touch into an interactive, emotionally rich experience. Validation, both verbal and nonverbal, reinforces connection and deepens intimacy. Women respond to cues that show their partner notices, admires, and values them. Gentle words of affirmation, soft murmurs of appreciation, or lingering eye contact communicate recognition and respect. Nonverbal gestures such as a reassuring smile, a warm glance, or a supportive hand on the shoulder convey attention and appreciation without breaking the flow of intimacy. Validation reinforces safety, encourages openness, and reduces anxiety, making it easier for her to relax and engage fully in the experience. Authenticity is key. Insincere or exaggerated gestures can be counterproductive. By combining verbal acknowledgement with attentive, respectful touch, a partner communicates that he is present, emotionally attuned, and genuinely invested in her comfort and pleasure. The integration of mind and body further elevates the experience. Synchronizing touch with emotional awareness, eye contact, and even shared breathing enhances the depth of connection. Women are perceptive to the subtleties of presence. Touch that aligns with emotional attunement communicates empathy, attentiveness, and care. Mind-body integration allows the partner to respond dynamically, adjusting pressure, rhythm, and pace according to her reactions. This approach transforms intimacy from a simple physical interaction into a holistic, multi-layered exchange that combines sensation, emotion, and shared focus. It also fosters a sense of unity where both partners are fully engaged and attuned to each other, creating a richer, more satisfying experience. At the core of what women secretly desire is not just skilled hands or passionate gestures. It is a partner who is fully present, emotionally attuned, and genuinely invested in their experience. Touch becomes meaningful when it is thoughtful, respectful, responsive, playful, and integrated with emotional awareness. This combination allows women to relax, feel seen and appreciated, and engage fully in the intimacy being offered. The experience is most powerful when physical pleasure is intertwined with trust, emotional connection, and mutual attentiveness. Ultimately, intimacy is not simply about physical technique, but about the communication of care, presence, and attunement. Women respond deeply to partners who recognize the emotional significance of their touch, who observe subtle cues, and who approach intimacy as a shared, responsive, and playful experience. When these elements are present, touch transforms into a language of connection, vulnerability, and mutual enjoyment, creating an experience that is both emotionally and physically fulfilling. Understanding and practicing this awareness ensures that intimacy transcends the purely physical, becoming an authentic, shared expression of desire, trust, and connection.